Welcome back on a high-level tutorial on creating a restaurant table booking system. Now this is a full disclaimer that we're not going to be automating tables and assigning of tables from a customer, but what we can do is collect a deposit based on a guest condition. So if there's a guest of say 8 or more, we're going to send them to a calendar that collects a deposit. And I know for this business that I'm working with, and I've currently got it deployed, they really need that system where they can, if someone cancels, they can then charge the invoice or charge the card on file. And I'll show you the full setup from start to finish. I've kind of mapped it out here. But again, this video is not really about the table assignment, more so about the two different calendars and how you can collect a deposit based on a form condition. It's a bit of a complex and long setup, but if you stay with me to the end, I think there'll be other use cases for this, and it may not be restaurant, but you could apply it to other businesses that require a deposit based on a certain field. So let's get right into it. This flow here, we're going to go set up a funnel page, and the funnel is going to have a step 1, which will be form. The next step is based on a guest limit. So if they have more than 8, we're going to send them to the deposit calendar. If they have less than 8, we're going to send them to just a regular table booking calendar. And then both will go into confirmed. We're going to set up if it's cancelled, we're going to need to fire off a notification. Now what happens when someone goes through the calendar deposit is it creates a draft invoice on your behalf already. And if someone cancels, we then need to notify the staff to say, hey, this person's cancelled, so you can go ahead and charge that card. And we'll also set up some basic automations for rescheduling, and I'll show you how I kind of built it for this client. So let's get right into it. So the first step is to create your 2 calendars. Now I've gone ahead and done it already, but I'll go through all the different settings that you need, and then we'll talk about how to set it up. So let's open up the first one. So you need a reserve a table one, and you're going to put in calendar name reserve a table. We've not assigned it to any groups because groups doesn't really matter in this point in time. We're going to add a meeting invite, which is the booking name or the contact full name, the amount of packs, and then we're pulling in that custom field as well. The meeting location obviously is of the business. Your availability, select that, make sure it's aligned to the business. Form, this is a critical one. So right now we've got a default form, but we're actually going to create a custom form and embed it here. We're then going to set up a redirect, but we're not going to do it from this page. All the notification stuff we're going to do inside of automations. There's no connections needed. Customization, I think you only add book. So what you can do is once you set that up is just duplicate, and we'll go into the settings of the duplicated one. We'll change the name to deposit, and everything else stays the same except for the URL. And then everything stays the same like I said before. We'll just need to come down into payments, and you do need a Stripe connection. But what you do is you turn this on, and we'll put in the amount, which is $10. Accept partial payment, you flick that on. Put percentage, 0. So what this does is it doesn't charge them up front, but it takes the amount that's left, which is $10, and creates a draft invoice. So that's how it works. And we put that live. I would always include a description, and away you go. Again, everything else stays the same. No need to change anything. I might just change this to book. And now we're good. So your calendars are set up. What we need to do now is configure the forms. So I'll go into form, create new. And how I like to structure this is two different forms. The first form collects how many guests, because that's what we need to enable the conditions. So let's just delete all of these. And we'll add go to dates. And I might just put our icon, forward. And then we're going to call this booking step 1. Okay. We're going to add full name, and I might just change this to, in the label, booking name, booking full name. Make it required. And keep that, What we need now is a custom field. So I've gone ahead and created these prior, but all you would do is in this form, go add custom field. For number of guests, I use number and just created that. For booking notes, it's multi-line, and that's done. So we're going to add in number of guests. And what I might do is add in an email. And I don't like placeholders, so we can remove that. And that's the first done. The next thing we do is create part 2 of this. So we're going to duplicate it. We're going to call it step 2. And this is for the calendar. And what you'll see here is the exact same, but we're collecting the notes, booking notes. So if they want to add anything about their booking, they can. And what we might do is just do something like confirm booking name, and we'll add a phone number. Perfect. And we don't need all this, and we can put in here book, but I think that would be done within the calendar. Great. Now your two forms are created, and you don't need one specifically for deposits because it's all the same info. I might, keep that required, or keep required off there. Don't need it. And what we now do is go back into calendars, and this is going to be key, is under forms, we're going to change it to step 2, and we're going to go the form last, and we'll leave everything as is, and that's done. Go back out into deposits, and we'll find forms. Sticky's fine, we can keep that as sticky, and we'll get step 2, make sure step 2 is the next, is last in the widget order. Hit save, and while we are here, I might go back into that, and what I'll do is do cancellation, and we'll go in app and enable it to account admin, and we'll just save that, because if any notification, I'll probably do this within the automation tab, but for now, to keep this video a little bit more streamlined, I'll just do it here. But essentially, what we should be doing is adding the automation and adding a notification when a cancellation happens, because this reminds the staff that they need to go and collect the deposit amount. So here we go. I'm going to untick these and we can keep that, that's fine. I might just make that change to the first one as well. Ah, it's off already. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so we're ready to roll with our funnels. So first we'll go into funnels. I've already created the folder, table bookings, and we'll create our table booking. And we'll create 3 steps. First step would be guest, and I might just put step 1. And what I'll do is do book with guest. We'll create that. The next step would be step 2, calendar. And we'd go book calendar. Great. Third step would be step 2A, step 2B, I should say. Step 2B, call it calendar, in brackets, deposit. And we'll call it book calendar and deposit. Done. And the final step, so we're actually creating 4, is event. And we'll go book information. Now, the next part of this, before I even go into the funnels, what I'm going to do is connect it to a domain. This is just my test account as well, so that is fine. Now that I've connected to a domain, what I'm going to do is bring up my notes and I'm going to just paste these for myself to use later, because what we're going to be doing is using some parameters, key parameters, to configure the forms and direct them where they need to go. And take that one, and then the last one is book confirmation. That's done. So we'll just quickly create these funnel pages. I've got a saved element here, a template called it nav, and I've got the steps here. So we'll use this as a bit of a guide. And now we'll get the form, and you probably guessed it, the form that we're going to be using, step 1. Great. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep the redirect action to use action from form builder, and then what we're going to do is edit this form, and because I've written down those URL links for each funnel, this should be required, and so should this. What we're going to do is create a condition, and we're going to say redirect if number of guests is greater than or equal to, or greater than, I probably want to do is greater than 8. or it's greater than 7. Let's put 7, I think. Because if it's more than 7, we're going to go to this URL. And this is going to be the key part. So now we're putting in the deposit calendar that we need. So we're going to go that. And then, because we've got 2 different forms, I like to do this so it doesn't break anything. And we just make sure that the CRM stays clean and working accordingly, because what some people might do is change some details. So I just want to double check at each step that we're collecting the right contact details. So what I'll do is full name. That's the key of this. I'm going to go equals contact dot name and email equals contact. We need extra bracket, contact dot email, and that's done. And I'm just copy this down too, because we'll be using it for the next part. So I hit save, and that's redirecting to the deposit calendar. Now, on my settings, I'm going to change to redirect URL. I'm going to add in these parameters, but I'm going to add the regular booking calendar, which is this. Perfect. So our automations or our redirecting to the different pages is going to be rock solid. And I do want to just check this and hit save. Now, the first step is done, so I'll publish that. The next step, I will probably go back out into funnels and get out of this one. Table bookings, calendar, and we'll use existing table booking step 1. It's going to import everything that we need. And now we're off to step 2. Within step 2, I'm going to change the colors here, just so we make things nice and clean. And I think that's black, and then it's got an opacity level, and we'll take off the border. Perfect. And then we're going to change from this to a form to a calendar. The calendar is going to have, we're going to do reserve a table, because this is just a regular one. And reserve a table is correct. Hit save and publish. And that's the regular calendar done. We'll use existing table bookings, pretty much replicating this, but changing the calendar. So if I go in, we're now up to, I think, yeah, this part here. And we're going to change this calendar to the deposit. I don't mind having the deposit thing there. And hit publish on that. And what we might do is not use the action. We're going to go website URL, and we're probably going to get the confirmation page. We're going to go to that one. Hit publish. I probably should update step 2 as well. So quickly do that. So far we've been going for about 20 minutes. So it's quite simple. if you've got all your things in order, cool. Get out of that, go to confirmed. We're going to use, yeah, it doesn't really matter. You can use any of them. We'll open this up. Well, that's loading. Now what we can start doing is building our workflows. And I've got in here table bookings. I haven't created any yet. We'll need 3 emails. And me personally, I would do 6 in total. I would do internal and customer notifications via email for both new bookings, cancellations, or rescheduled. I would do all 3. And then I would do 3 more for internal staff notifications. And then I'd configure it all within the automation side of GoHighLevel. So if I go to templates, I've got in here booking confirmed and internal. But what I might do is just focus on the customer experience and clone this and do booking confirmed and change it to booking rescheduled. Can't spell today. So booking rescheduled. I'm going to open that up. Now I've templated everything, so I don't have to edit too much here. I just have to change booking rescheduled. And probably change that to your booking has been rescheduled. Perfect. And it's got all the key details that we need. Contact notes. I don't think that's the right value, so I might just update that. Yeah, booking notes. And it's got our rescheduling links. I might just change my link color to maybe a blue or something. And let's use that. Perfect. So we're good. I'm just going to change the details here. Account name, account email, booking. Oh, booking. Actually, we need the appointment. Booking reschedule. And we'll just leave it at that for now. Keep it quite basic. And we'll head out. So we've done rescheduled. We'll now do cancel. And I'll do a note here. Booking cancel. And this one, table booking cancelled. Your booking has been cancelled. Please see details below. We don't need that. What we might do is just add a note. Note. If you provided a deposit amount, it will be charged in the coming days. Just something like that. We don't need this. We don't need this. Regards, team. And save, change our settings for the email. Booking cancelled. Little error here. Details matter. Details matter. Right. we've got our notifications, and what I would do is set up 3 different ones, or you can do it all in one. But I like simplicity. I like keeping my workflows quite simple, very to the point. It's just easier to kind of manage it if things go wrong. So we'll go new booking and table. Oh, sorry, not table, calendar. Appointment it's called. Customer book appointment in calendar reserve. We might do 2. Customer booked appointment in calendar deposit as well, because it's the same thing. Send a notification, get our template, booking confirmed. If you really wanted to, you can do your wait steps and reminders. And what I would do is, if you really wanted to get a bit more complex, you can add an if the trigger is the deposit calendar, and add a tag. But again, keeping these quite simple, making sure that it's understandable to replicate for you guys. Okay, now for the rescheduled workflow, what I'm going to do here, it's a bit of a tricky one because you've actually got to create a condition. So we're going to add an if-else condition, and we're going to say appointment is rescheduled. It's true, and that's going to create a branch for us. So if this appointment, I'm going to just name this condition rescheduled. Cool. And rescheduled is true. I'm going to send an email, and it's going to be our rescheduled template that we've got. I do want to sync the edits and hit save. And I might just name this. Oh my goodness. Rescheduled, booking rescheduled. Cool. And I do need to change this, so not to cancelled. I might just delete this and go appointment status. Might just go calendar. Appointment, customer booked appointment in calendar reserve. Do a new one, customer booked appointment in calendar deposit. So for both. Again, I would probably group the calendars. I didn't do it just because of laziness, but here we are. And rescheduled is true, email will send, and we could add some more details here, but that's the rescheduled workflow. Now for our cancellation, appointment status is the trigger, any type, and calendar to reserve. Appointment status is cancelled. I'm going to save that. We'll add another one, appointment status, do it all over again, but this time it's going to be deposit, and the status is cancelled. Now what I do want to do here is go if the appointment Now what I want to do here is I've got my 2 triggers, and I might just name it. So cancelled, deposit. Let me get that right. Save that just so I know. Cancelled. I've got my 2. I'll go if the workflow trigger is the cancelled, and we'll just duplicate it. And if the workflow trigger is deposit, we're going to do 2 separate actions. they're going to be the same essentially. I might just rename these for just put cancelled and put cancelled with deposit. Cool. And now this is where we can add our internal notification. I'm just going to do a push, call it cancellation, and add some details as cancel there. Okay. Please reminder to charge their card on file. Head to invoices to find the details. What I'm going to do is add a date stamp because it just gives them an idea of when the booking was done or when the cancellation was done. So I'll go out into right now and I'll just give them day of the week, time. What do I want? I want day, month, year. I'm Australian, so we'll do it this way. Perfect. And we can go to the contact. Who should we send it to? All users. Perfect. This one is just going to be a send email. I think it's cancelled, yep. And we'll get our cancelled booking confirmation. We do want to sync the edits. Hit save. I'll copy this action and put it here. Perfect. That is the entire flow. Let's publish that. So we've done cancellations and reminders. And now we can just test it. Hope that saved. No, it didn't. I like to keep everything tidy. Save. Let's go back out. Now I think we are ready to test, so we can have a look at what it all looks like once a thing comes through. Once a booking comes through, we can check and just see how it all looks in the back end. So if I go here, booking full name, number of guests, we'll do a non-deposit one first. Go to dates. We've got step 2. Go 1 p.m. today and checking. Let's hit book. Should take me to confirmed. Booking confirmed. Thanks. I'll open up my emails. And let's go to our calendar. And we'll go table reserve. Right, and there we go. The packs didn't come through now. I think that's because my custom field is not right. So what I'll do is edit that. This is exactly why you do testing. Number of guests is there. So it should come up. I can't think of the reason why it wouldn't. Got everything right here. Okay, so the reason why the number of guests wasn't coming up is because I didn't apply sticky contacts to the form. So small error, but quite simply you'd go into step 2 calendar of the form, go to settings and turn on sticky contacts. I could, what I sometimes do is add a hidden field. So we could do this, and I'll do it because I've actually added it. I'll make this a hidden field and just put it at the top. And what that is going to do is pull in the email that they gave before, and we're going to make sure that the contact, when it arrives in our CRM, that the details come through and there's no duplication. And that is why there was no a number of guests that came through. So let me refresh this. And let's go 5. Pretty confident this will work now. Go into the regular booking page once it loads. And testing notes. Go book. Booking confirmed. If I head out, there should only be one contact with the calendar showing the number of packs. There we go. So that is working. And now if I'm a restaurant and I look at the days that I've got, I can see, oh yep, we've got a booking of 5. We'll try to test this one, but I have a feeling that we won't be able to because I've got to put in card details and all of that, so I won't do that. But what I will show you is the back end of the current client that is using it and what happens when the booking is completed. So I'll go into, here we are. So we can see that we've got all of these, we've got all these invoices created with the amount of packs that they had. And they're just waiting if any of these are cancelled. So look, this one came through today, or last week, sorry. If anything is cancelled, then they can go in here and go into their invoice and charge it to the card. So for whatever reason, we're going to send them, if there's a cancellation, we're going to send them the details. This person cancelled. Okay, go in and hit charge credit card. And it's as simple as that. And then on the back end, I'll show you actually their back end. You can see in here, I do have a group. So you can see where all of their bookings are. And they could have an iPad at the restaurant and they can just see, oh yep, at 6 p.m. we've got a table of 8. Okay, we'll assign it to that table, assign it to this table. I mean, there's so much here that they can see. It's right in front of them. So yeah, that's how it works. If you had any questions or if you find anything that I said was confusing, it's a bit of a long one, but please let me know. You can email me, or I've got a landing page you can just submit your details there on. But I hope this helps, and if anyone has figured out the table assignment, I'd be keen to know. Thanks.